Good morning, Gemini. Well, the first thing that really stands out to me in this reading is that it looks like you're being really hard on yourself here. Maybe even taking on more responsibility than you need to. It just looks like every time you turn around, it just seems like you're really hard on yourself more than you should be. And it looks like you're taking on a lot of responsibilities here, possibly things that you shouldn't be taking on for yourself at this time because it could be something that's going to end up causing you to have a burnout, okay? It's like it's like you're under this overwhelming stress, and then you're going to have more overwhelming stress because you're actually expecting yourself to do more than is humanly possible, okay? This could also be a sign of like some kind of mental, like I want to say mental anguish, but it's more than that, definitely. Especially with these other cards around it, it's more than mental anguish. It's like, like severe mental stress. Okay, to the point where you're just like, ugh, so much going on at one time, and it could be because for some of you, this could be because of a breakup, a divorce specifically. Okay, but it doesn't have to be, guys. This could just be like, things are not working out. Maybe this is not a divorce for you. This could just be you are no longer having the partner that you used to have. It could be anybody. Maybe you and your sister did something together, any kind of partnership, right? But for one of you specifically, this is about a divorce, okay? But it does look like a mental overload here. Now, the good thing about it is that I see you handling things over here. So you have a lot of stress on you, yes, but at the same time, it's like you're handling it so well. Okay, I would even say like you're handling this, the juggling, the pressure with a lot of grace, and with the Four of Wands energy coming into all this, it just makes me feel like you're doing so much better than you actually think you are. Okay, you might be under the impression that you're not doing so great, but you're actually doing better than you think you are, Maybe you don't see it. I think you're just being really hard on yourself. Because over here, it looks like, you have good karma. You know, you have good karma. I'm hearing like things are changing in your world. You're going to have success. So, Spirit wants you to lighten up on yourself. Even though you got a lot of other stuff going on at the same time, but do lighten up on yourself here. This is like, you know, you're going to have some kind of, I want to say an unexpected opportunity is coming towards you with this good karma. These are turning points. Things are going to be turning around for you. So don't be hard on yourself. Okay, so let's get into this reading. I just want to say that because somebody needs to hear that. With the Wheel of Fortune and the World card over here, I do see completion. Okay, I see accomplishment. I see good karma. I think I said that already. I see changes. Something unexpected is coming. An opportunity is coming towards you. I see high achievement. Okay, but these are not just you going out and doing things. No, this is something that's going to be fated for you. This is meant for you. It's fated. Okay, I just want to throw that out there. This is like you're finally getting to your final destination. You still have all this other stuff going on around you. Yes, you have chaos. Yes, you're juggling it. You still got, drama going on around you, but you yourself are on this journey. There's a completion here. There's an ending of a chapter, the beginning of a new chapter. This is yes, possibly a lot of chaos going on around you, a lot of excitement at the same time. So, chaos possibly due to somebody around you, and we're going to get into that. So somebody around you who's causing chaos, but at the same time, you being excited because it's like you're finally going to be getting through something, okay? And at the end over here, you have judgment and you have the Queen of Wands. So this is really good for you because it indicates to me that it's like you're going to be freed from something. Yes. Also, it makes me feel like I just want to get this part out, guys, before I start talking about this other person over here. Because in other words, because you're so stressed, I want to tell you everything's going to be okay. I just want you to know that you're going to have the clarity that you need here, the confidence that you need with the Queen of Wands energy. That's somebody who's ready to take action, take their power back. That's going to be you. You're going to be taking your power back. You're going to be very confident about things. You're going to be stepping into your power, And that's what I'm getting from this. You're going to be getting the clarity that you've been needing, and possibly a calling. Okay, so out of all this chaos that's going on around you, you're still going to find your own calling that's unique to just you. Mm, that's what I'm getting. So, Spirit is wanting you to assess yourself. Okay, assess yourself, assess your reactions, because it does look like you have somebody around you who who's been manipulative, okay? Because we do have this energy over here. So you definitely are dealing with somebody who's been very manipulative, especially mentally manipulative, possibly asking you for all kinds of things, asking you to take action, asking you to do more work than is fair. Okay, I feel like this person has been possibly just draining your energy. Okay, but expecting you to be like really excited about things at the same time. And it's this person seems to be the person who is like, they're planning this out. Okay, they're planning these things out. They're actually doing it on purpose. This is something that this person's been planning to do. Like they deliberately go out of their way to do these things. Hmm. This can also indicate too for you like a creative energy, but at the same time like you're dealing with somebody who's manipulative, but somebody who's coming in and like, how do I say this? In other words, changing your energy or directing your energy to something else, you know, or making you do more work when it's not needed, or make you do more work when it's not logical, right? So, for instance, you're already look at. For instance, what I'm trying to say there is like you're already at work. You're sitting there. The other party is not doing anything, but they still expect you to get off of work and go pick up the kids and take the kids to the babysitter, and then go do that, and then go run back to work before your lunch period is over. And that person is just sitting at home. That's what I mean. Like things that are unlogical, expecting you to go out of your way and do so much stuff, and you know what I mean? That kind of thing. Okay. Now, over here, it looks like you're dealing with somebody that you have completely cut off. Okay. It looks like you're dealing with somebody who, in the past, they have left a very nasty taste in your mouth. This is somebody who has disrupted your life. Like I said, could be somebody you're divorcing or breaking up with. Okay. Or it could just be somebody that is around you who has caused some kind of turbulence in your life. But see, specifically, this is somebody that has been around you for a long time, because we do have the Six of Cups in reverse. So this is somebody who has been around you for a long time, and this is somebody who has caused stagnation in your life. This is somebody that there's like a negative pattern with this person that's rooted in the past, like something that y'all have always done, but it's a negative thing. Definitely manipulation here, I see. So it's like this person has severely, I want to say severely impacted your life. Okay? It doesn't have to be romantic. It's just somebody in your life that has really, I want to say, like pushed you in the wrong direction. That has really, like turned your life upside down. This is somebody that has kept some kind of negative pattern going, but this is something that's been going on for years, right? Okay, it's not something that's just happened overnight. No, this is like, I want to say the toxicity in this relationship has just grown over time. That's the kind of thing where, to the point where y'all were having like really petty conflicts, purposely causing misunderstandings, or making you feel like you just weren't being understood. This is somebody who just didn't want to resolve any issues. Okay, like they just didn't want to hear what you had to say at all, making you feel like you, it's more of like somebody that made you feel like you didn't matter. when they should have been making you feel like you mattered. They, with all the things that they were demanding on you and expecting you to do, you would think that this person would be more of a team player, and they weren't. This is somebody who wasn't there for you. And then when you had an issue, they were like, oh, well, solve it yourself. That kind of thing, or take care of it yourself, or they just denied that it was even an issue because it wasn't an issue for them. So it was like you were having to carry a lot of weight on your shoulders, and you had nobody to support you, even if it was just emotional support. That's what I'm getting. So even emotionally support, you couldn't even get it from this person. You know what I mean? And I feel like this person severely disappointed you. And it's like they would never take accountability for that. You know? Nothing. They never would. They won't take accountability for anything. So if you have children with this person, it's like you had the children by yourself. It's that kind of energy. You were a single parent. Even if you were married to this person, you still were a single parent because it was like you didn't have a partner at all, you know? Um, and that's definitely for one of you. You might have had children with this person. And it was like, why were you even still married to this person? It was. It was only on paper. The marriage was only on paper. That's what I'm hearing. So it was like you were still having to do everything by yourself, and then you would say something, to try to get this person on board with you or get y'all on the same page. And it was like, that's what started these little petty arguments. And I want you to know something. This person was doing that on purpose. Okay. This is part of the manipulation. They were literally doing this where, y'all would get into these little arguments so they could get away with doing whatever they wanted to do while forcing you to have like everything on your shoulders. And see, this is where this is linked to, where you are like putting so much pressure on yourself, where you're like really hard on yourself. It's because of this relationship. Okay. Now, for some of you, this is like, it's not even somebody you were married to or divorced to. This could be like a parent, okay? Like something from your childhood or somebody in your childhood that started this cycle where you feel like you have to do everything by yourself, You have to be so hard on yourself, so perfect, like as though if you're not perfect or if you don't do things absolutely perfect, then you just don't deserve people's time, or making you feel like you don't deserve love, or making you feel like you don't deserve to be appreciated. And that's definitely for one of you, okay? And I do see something here is somebody is stuck in the past. I don't feel like it's you, Gemini, okay? I really don't. I feel like somebody around you here is definitely stuck in the past. And it's not just that, but I'm seeing somebody here who, it's like this person was refusing, okay? And I feel like if this was your parent or a parental figure, this was like somebody who refused to grow up. They refused to grow up. This is why they put so much pressure on you. Like you had to be the adult in the household, okay? So for one of you, this is a spouse, ex-spouse, or partner, romantic thing. For another one of you, this is definitely like a parent or a parental figure from your childhood, okay? And the thing is they just totally avoided growing up. And they refuse to have any kind of growth at all here. That's what I'm seeing. No kind of growth. So as long as this person was in your life, you weren't going to have any growth. I'm seeing like old habits. And this could be something that's in the whole family, The whole family has these old, and I don't mean old timing type of emotional habits. No, this is like old habits that, they learned it from their parents. Okay, so if this is a parental figure, then this is like somebody that learned this behavior from their parents, and it just got transferred over to you, to the point where you feel like you have to do everything yourself. You have to be perfect. You have to do everything perfectly. You have to be 100% on top of things, and then you're really hard on yourself, okay? And then for some of you, it's from being married to somebody, and you might have been married to this person for a long time. And of course, like anything that's any situation that you're in for a long time, you tend to keep going with that type of cycle, and I feel like that's what's going on here, where you're really hard on yourself, okay? Um, the good thing is there is an end of this cycle. Okay. And I'm hearing like you're ending this cycle. Either you're ending it for yourself or you're ending it for your children. Okay. You're the last one in this family group, right? Or this relationship. Like you're ending this cycle. So doesn't matter who started this cycle. Okay. I know it wasn't you, but it was definitely somebody around you. You are ending it. You're gonna end this. You're completing this cycle. I just want you to know you are like the last one. So if you're worried about this continuing on to the next generation or to your children, no, you're not. You're ending this cycle. No more. No more slaving away one person in the family, being the responsible one, taking all the pressure. No more, that kind of thing. Okay, let's keep going here. Now, here it looks like you might be carrying a lot of anger on your shoulders, maybe because of the disappointments that you've gone through. Here you might be carrying a lot of I want to say resentment because of the situation. You might be feeling like, somebody was very unfair to you. You might feel like this person was overly manipulative and they shortchanged you, or shortchanged you. They cheated you out of things here. This person was doing things because they're selfish. They were like controlling you for their own selfish reasons here, and it's like you're having to hold in all these emotions, all this trauma that you went through, and that leaves a lot of stress on your body, and not to mention your mental health, but it looks like you're holding in a lot here. Spirit wants you not to do that. Spirit wants you to release all this negativity that you're carrying on you, because you're still carrying this stuff. Even though this is something from the past, you're still carrying all this toxic and trauma and everything that you've been through. Okay? Spirit wants you here. Spirit wants you to like not focus on the things that you lost here, but Spirit wants you to focus on what you still have to gain. Like, what is it that you still have with you? So it could be your children. It could be like you have time now that this person's out of your life, because I do see this person being out of your life. Now you have more time for better things. Maybe you can start pursuing things that you've always wanted to pursue. This person is no longer controlling you or manipulating you. Now you can look at things in a brighter way, right? In other words, look at the good things about everything and not look at the past. Spirit wants you to look in the future, basically like focus on the future. Focus on how strong you are as a person, what you bring to the table, how you are as a person. Like, where you've been is not defining who you are. It's where you're going in life that matters. Okay? And that somebody here definitely needs to hear that. It's like, it's not where you've been, it's where you're going. Because according to what I'm seeing, you're going some places that this person was never meant to be with you. And yes, you lost a lot because of this person. You lost a lot of your time, your energy, your mental sanity, all that time that you could have been happy and healthy. You spent a lot of your time grieving and being disappointed and having somebody not listen to you and make you feel like you weren't important, or your opinions weren't important. That really does take a large toll on your mental health, right? This is why Spirit wants you to pay attention not to what you lost, but what you have gained. And what have you gained here? Well, first of all, you're handling things with such grace. You know, you really are. You're handling things like you really are. You're juggling things. According to what I could tell from this, I mean, it looks like you were really mentally abused, you know, psychologically abused, mentally abused here. And the fact that you're still able to juggle things and balance things out, it's amazing. I mean, that you should be applauded. You know, right there. You should be applauded. I mean, you should pat yourself on the back. I mean, what I'm seeing here, you're doing a great job. Okay? And what I'm seeing here is like Spirit is saying, seek seek what you can for your own sanity. So in other words, turn this lemon into lemonade. So if you have a lot of anger inside of yourself, hey, maybe start taking boxing lessons or whatever it is that's going to make you happy. Okay? Because life is short, and if you don't find the happiness now, you're just causing yourself to be stuck in this negative energy longer. Okay? So you got to find an outlet for it. It could be painting, it could be drawing, it could be writing, it could be anything. I personally would suggest boxing, especially for you who is still angry about this. Get into boxing. Who knows where it can go? You know, you never know, right? Even if you're a woman, you never know. There's women boxers, you know. Actually, there's one that's going to be having a fight really soon, right? Um, so there's women boxers. You might be perfect for that. You might want to get into that. Whatever you do, you want to make sure that you're grounding yourself. You know, grounding yourself and remembering who you used to be before this person was in your life, especially for you who is married to this person or your family. You know, if this is a parental figure that did this to you, remember the things that you wanted to do that you couldn't do, but now you can. Okay? You can do things now that you always wanted to do, but because of what that person was doing to you, you couldn't. And now's the time you can. And the reason why I'm saying all this is because it looks like, you know, you've gone through all of this stuff already, right? Over here, I'm seeing success. I'm seeing a lot of success here. I'm seeing things working out for you. I'm seeing people wanting to work with you. I'm seeing you working hard at something here. But right here, it's like it doesn't matter how stable your life has become. With the Eight of Swords energy right here and the King of Coins energy, I don't know. Hope y'all can see that. It's telling me that it's like you're still carrying a lot of this mental restrictions on yourself. Even though your life is stable, okay? Maybe your career is doing great. You do have a lot of success here. You might even have a new relationship for some of you. You know, maybe you even have a new relationship. But regardless, there is still things here that Spirit wants me to point out to you where you're still holding yourself back. This could be fear, not fear that you're afraid, but fear that somebody else has put into you. In other words, somebody else has put this fear into you, and you're just carrying this cycle with you. In other words, somebody around you is not manipulating you anymore, but you're manipulating yourself, right? It's like a wheel that keeps going, like a wheel that's getting pushed, right? Just imagine a wheel that's getting pushed down a hill. And even though the person is no longer pushing that wheel, the wheel continues to go on, right? I feel like that's what's going on here. Like somebody turned this wheel and the wheel just keeps going. So now it's like you are doing this to yourself. You might have fear, you might have anxiety, like it, but this is like self-imposed. This is something that you're doing to yourself now. Over here is somebody that did it to you, and now you're doing it to yourself. Okay, so this is where Spirit wants you to break out of this. This is where Spirit wants me to really have you focus on this part, okay? Because this is like, it's like you're safe. You're finally in a safe place here, but mentally you're not. You're still trapped, or you're still getting manipulated, but you're not. You're in a safe place here. You might be financially secure. You might live in a secure home. You might be in a safe relationship. You might have a nice home, because I do see a Four of Wands over here. Maybe you finally have been able to buy a home. Maybe you have succeeded in some long-term goals, whatever those are, right? You have a lot of successes. You have a lot of things to be proud of, but it's just you right here. You're carrying this stuff still with you. You might have a stable job. You might have, you might be financially stable, but with this Eight of Swords, it's like you're still, maybe you're feeling overwhelmed, or maybe you're feeling, it could be due to, like, maybe you have a fear of losing your home. Maybe you bought your home. This might be for one of you. You're still making payments on your home, and then you're worried and stressed that you're going to lose your home, and it's that trigger that's setting off. Okay, it's something like that. Okay, like something's triggering you where it's holding you back, and you're going back to the old things that you've been through. But nobody's doing it to you. You're doing it to yourself now. Okay. Okay. Now, Spirit wants you to take that mental blindfold off when you address something. When you address it and you acknowledge it, that there's a problem here and it's coming from you. It could be empowering, but you have to take that first step and be like, okay, I'm doing this to myself. I'm stressing myself out, and then you need to take action to relieve that stress. And I understand if this is bills, if this is whatever this is, whatever the stress is. Like I said, maybe you're buying something big, or maybe you started your own business and you're having to pay the payments, and of course it's going to be a stressful situation. The situation itself is stressful, but how you take it and how you internalize it can change. Because life is always going to be stressful, basically. I mean, that's what Spirit wants me to tell you. Life is always going to be stressful. You can internalize it, or you could just let it be what it is. In other words, have you ever heard that saying before? Worrying about it is not going to help it, right? I think as adults, we get older, and the older we get, the more we worry about things. Instead of enjoying our time on earth, instead of enjoying the activities that we're doing, or enjoying our successes, because it does look like you either are or you will be having a lot of success here, okay? And it's like, when you're going through these things and you're enjoying all these successes, or you're having all these successes, it's hard to really enjoy them. Instead of it just being something that you check off your to-do list, it's like you really are not living in the moment, and that's what Spirit doesn't want you. I mean, that's what Spirit does not want you to do. Spirit wants you to live in the moment, to enjoy the rest of your time. The manipulation and everything that you've been through, that's your past, right? But from here on out, Spirit really wants you to enjoy life. Not to rush through meals. If you're going to eat ice cream, then really enjoy that ice cream. If you're going to sit down and watch a movie, then just really enjoy that movie. Because what's going on here is like you're getting shortchanged out of all the joys in life. And Spirit wants you to like really enjoy life. You know what I mean? You deserve it. You're a good person. And the way I'm seeing you handle your stresses and everything, I don't know if I said this, but you're handling your stresses so well. You should pat yourself on the back. You should treat yourself, You've come so far into breaking this cycle in your life. You know what I mean? And I feel very strongly for some of you, you've done it not just for yourself, but for your children as well. You've come so far that you really do need to start enjoying life so you can enjoy all the good things that are coming your way, you know? And that's what Spirit wants you to do, okay? All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop there. That's, I hope I explained this correctly, this reading, because this is like a really deep message for somebody here. Let's go ahead and get your angel numbers out and see what's going on for you on your angel numbers. In other words, Spirit wants to treat you, wants to give you a treat. But you can't enjoy the treat if you're continuously internalizing things, you know? Like, Spirit wants to give you more, but Spirit also wants you to enjoy it, you know? Give us an angel number here for Gemini Spirit. Is this it? Okay. 444. It says, trust your journey. Trust the way your life unfolds, and trust that you are where you need to be at the present moment. I am protected. I think maybe this is what Spirit really wants you to hear. You're protected. Maybe you really need to hear that, you know, that you are protected. Is there another angel number here for Gemini? Maybe somebody really needed to hear that, you know, that you have Spirit here protecting you. Is there another angel number for Gemini today? We have a flipper. Okay. It says 31. Your approach to life is an effective mix of both practicality and imagination. Your mind is stirring with creative ideas, and you have the organizational skills to manifest them to life. I am disciplined. Okay, so you got I am protected and I am disciplined. I think Spirit is wanting you to know the successes that you've had so far is just the beginning of it. That's what I'm hearing. It's just the beginning. You have so much more success coming in the near future. And Spirit wants you to be actively able to enjoy it. Okay? All right, Gemini, thank you for joining me. Catch me in the next one. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.